All right, pick the stream. Here we go. Yeah, Spec Kit Part 2. Excellent. All right, so in the last little video, I started to look into, Spec Kit, what it could do. Just read through some of the documentation. This time, I want to just get out there and start building. So here we are, Spec Kit. What does it mean? This is what we went through last time. Install. Let's see. Let's grab a terminal quick. See if we have spec. Is it specify? What is it? Specify? Help. See if it's there. All right, looks like it's there. All right, let's just make this a little boop. Whoa. All right, let's clear that out. Let's do it again. All right, GitHub Spec Kit, spec-driven development toolkit. Help a init. All right, let's specify a init. I mean, I'm just winging it, right? Because why read the instructions? Must be in, init dot. Init right here. Oh boy. All right, so we have GitHub Copilot. We can use it here. All right, let's not get picky. We have a whole bunch, but Copilot, Claude, Gemini, Cursor, you can go GitHub multiple language models. All right, I'll go through them. Claude, Gemini, Cursor, OpenCode. I'll mention the ones that I have used. I've used Copilot, I've used Claude, I've used Gemini. I have not used Cursor, I haven't used Quen. OpenCode I've used. I really like OpenCode. Codex I use at work. Windsurf, no. Oh, actually I have used Rue, but the plugin, not the CLI. So Rue code inside of the IDE. Bob, Kimmy, no. But I know Pi. Pi is something, I haven't dove into that. So, all right, we'll just go with Copilot. This might make more sense if I were at work, but I am not at work, so I'm not on a Windows machine, and you can still use PowerShell on Linux, I believe. But we're going to stay with Bash. Whoa, there it goes. Agent folder security, initializing. So let's see. Just ran an init, and then let's see what it did. So looks like it did a couple things here. I'm going to expand all these out. Whoa, and a whoa. That is a lot of boilerplate. Oh my goodness, really? Those are CD. Well, where are we? That's just that. RL. All right, let's go all right. Oh man, I think it's find. Like find dot. Yeah, there you go. Find dot. Pipe it into word count. Lines. Wow. All right. So plus or minus some directories in there. Wow, that's a lot. Well, I could exclude the get stuff too, though. That's not really. All right. Let's clear that up. So there's a lot here. I mean, jeepers creepers. And I can't get back. So maybe there's a specify status. All right, help. Check that all the required tools are installed. Let's do that. All right. Oh, look at that. It tells you what I have. What's this little? Yellow, green, yellow. Okay. See, check version, this version, extension, presets. So here's all the agents that it's. So it initialized them agents. I'm assuming if we checked another coding tool, it would have put the agents in a separate directory, something to that effect. A lot of prompts. I think this is the opinionated portion of it. So, but I know that we need to go to the Constitution, right? So there's memory. Here's the Constitution. This is out of the box constitution. When you just run, right? So it isn't constituted, but here's the sample, and we'll read the raw markdown, not the rendered, because example spec constitution, task flow constitution, etc. Core principles, principle 1. Every feature starts as a standalone library. This is, yeah, we had read some of this stuff in the documentation. That's fine. You know, let's just see if all right, maybe I'll. Can you run a init again? Maybe I got ahead of myself. All right, we're getting. Hey, it's already been done. Template files. Yeah, sure. Copilot. We're going to use bash. Okay. All right. That way I was able to get to what I missed. So agent flow. Some agents may store credentials, auth tokens, or other identity. This is kind of a security thing. Yeah, it's really, you know, you probably should use, yeah, did it add a get ignore? Oh, it didn't. Huh. All right. Well, you wish it would have. Maybe it's just reminding you of good hygiene. VS Code. What did it put in settings? Okay. Chat, prompt files, recommendations, prompt files, constitution, true. Just turns them all on. Memory, constitution, blank template, check prereqs. It's really just calling out to no prereqs. So it's just going to run the script when I do specify. I'm just ripping through here. I don't know, positive root, upward, common. So some opinionated scripts that come along with it. That's fine. Great new feature. If it rewrites the scripts over time. Set up plan. Agent context files, information plan markdown. We don't have plan markdown, but we have constitution. All right, let's see. Spec Kit constitution. Establish the you're already in the project directory. Yay. Let's go here. So here we go. Now let's start a new chat. All right, we're in a constitution. Let's go spec kit. Spec kit constitution. Let's establish the principles. Gonna check anything out? Let's see. I'm loading the competition prompts, templates. Ooh. So it'd do. Read that, read the constitution. Still unfilled template, and there's no existing repo memory to rely on. All right. That's gonna make it look funny. Let's just go full screen here. Template, prompt instructions, dependent files, resolve. It's thinking. You know, I'm running GPT 5.4. Used to like the codex models. See what I have for tokens. When's it gonna reset? I mean, we could go full 3x on this thing. By that I mean, you know, run Opus 4.6, but stay with 5.4 for a little bit. Man, did it just run away? So I'm loading the constitution, prompt instructions, and dependent templates. So reviewed 5, just went in, looked at the templates, just that. All right. We need to figure out the project name from the folder. Sure. Code Constitution. Wow, generated. So what? All right, it's just running away, and we just gave it a blank Constitution. And we're already at 42% context use. I'm not going to be skeptical here, but this is definitely using quite a few tokens. It's just running through. Reserve output. So 30% reserve, that's fine. Tool defs, 3%. Messages. Then how are we at 42%? I just don't understand the context breakdown. All right. Establish the Constitution, synchronize, like, maybe I should have read the instructions, specify, comprehensive guide. I want to implement. Let's look here, Constitution. Establish project principles. Let's just tell me what it does. And I guess I could look at the prompt for the Constitution. So, but we're back in VS Code. GitHub Copilot. Proceed from spec build. Like I forget. I don't even know what mode I was in. Is that a different mode? Yeah, I guess it's all in the so all right, let's go back and review. Like this is, I just installed the tool, initialized spec kit in an empty directory, and here we are, 180K, yeah, in tokens. So out of a 400,000 token context, I've chewed, well, the 30% reserve. So let's see. Let's pull the. All right, I guess it's not as bad as I just made it out to see, but it definitely looked. If we back out the reserve tokens, then it's not horrible. So if we say, what was it, 400? What times? What was the holdback 30? So, all right, so we could pull 150 out of that. All right, so, all right, that's just me reading, but that's the reserve piece, right? That's kind of blown it. So we're only, okay, all right, so, sorry, just when you see this, that's the whole context anxiety that I talked about this before, but you have context anxiety if you keep things going on and on. So like I'm triggered when I see that this little pie chart like fill up a little bit. But all right, so I can relax a little bit. We're not that deep, but let's see what it did here. Mind you, I didn't say anything about what I wanted to do. Right? So follow the instructions. So that's it. Spec Kit Constitution prompt. Spec Kit Constitution agent. Okay. You must consider user input before proceeding, if not empty. All right, well, we were empty. I'm just trying to step through what was going on. We had no arguments, so arguments was pretty much null. Empty, whatever. Implement the feature specified. You are updating a project constitution here. This is a template. Your job is to collect, derive, like, I guess, concrete values. Fill the template precisely. Does not exist yet. It should have been initialized from specific custom template. It wasn't. Copy the template first. Okay, collect derived values for placeholders. Okay. Draft together. Okay. Constitution propagation. Checklists. Sync impact, prepend. All right. Validate. So we got 84 lines of markdown. Always operate on the existing. Okay. All right. Now that was the template. That's the spec kit constitution agent that we just fired off, and it just went after it. Now let's review what 5.4 did with this. So the execution flow, GitHub Copilot, its system instructions, dev instructions behind the scenes, gets this constitution. Constitution is still unfilled. Okay, it's part of it was. So it's going to read. Yep, that makes sense. Based on the prompt that we just saw. The repo is basically spec kit. Yeah, that's good. That means we're greenfield. I've got enough context. So this is what we got. The governance content is in place. Core templates. Now I'm focused on validation. Let's see, what did it read? Constitution, plan templates, spec template, test template. Okay, only a few lines, right? Oh, maybe I grabbed some stuff. I'm considering whether or not to move. All right, so that's like it's thinking, or reasoning, I should say. Validation found one issue. Sync report reference in old file names. Literally removing the last bracket. Okay, so maybe there was a little things to be more consistent about. Patching, organizing, final updates. What changed? Filled the constitution template with 5 concrete principles. Spec first delivery. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense, right? So we're really into the constitution or the core beliefs that we're having. Now these are not architectural pieces. They are just they would just be like high level, what we think are good. All right. Version rationale 1.0.0. So it wasn't. This is the first ratified constitution. Constitution changes over time with amendments, I'm assuming. That's the analogy. No unresolved placeholder tokens remain in the constitution. Cool. ISO formatted dates. Manual follow-up, none required. I also validated the constitution prompt agent for init options. Let's read through this stuff here. Ratify spec kit lip. Spec kit learn in public. Well, here we are. Run the spec kit workflow command so new spec plans are generated against the ratified constitutions. If you want, I can. All right. Well, we got to look at the constitution now. That'd be cool to look at the diff. So, task flow, constitutions, etc. Synced impact report. So, 1, 2, 3. All right. Every feature must start with a specification that captures prioritized user stories, edge cases, functional requirements. Any unresolved details must be marked with explicit needs clarification. Constitution gating plan. Every implementation plan must have a constitution check before phase 0 research, and again after phase 1. Story scoped, independently testable increments, verification before build, traceability and simplicity, operational constraints, delivery workflow, capture intent, and feature prioritization. Produce an implementation plan that passes the constitution check. Spec Kit, learning public, must explain lower level. I mean, okay. Now we have a constitution. Let's keep going on this trail. All right. Create baseline specification. I hope it asks me questions now. That's all I'm saying. All right. Spec Kit. Spec Kit. Specify. We did the Constitution. Let's specify. I mean, ask me questions? Like, you don't even know what we're specifying. We got hooks. What feature should I specify? We would like a web application. Right? Is that what we want? Nobody in the chat? Anybody's on? What do you want? What kind of app? We would like to build wait, hold on. It's like I am checking with the prompt file. Oh, before I get going, hold on. I'm checking the prompt file, specify extension hook configuration, initializing first so I can determine what's actually a feature. Turn this back, whatever. 2. Review files configuration. Spec Kit prompt. Proceed from Spec Kit specify. Build technical plan. Clarify spec requirements. Oh, look at that. What feature should I specify? I think there's more to learn here. I mean, that's pretty slick. You can just go run off and you just fire it off in CLI. How about we just go back to chat and say, like, ask a question. I don't know what I'm doing here. No, it's already, I'm already in that. Already in the mode, can't go out. What feature should I specify? User, I don't know, content manual, web application feature, right? I mean, send it. Yeah, it's too broad. All right, so it's created a feature, web app feature. All right. It's just a lot of churn. I didn't even say anything. I just said web app. Wow. I mean, maybe this is part of the refinement piece. This is going to put non-functional requirements, performance stuff, JS frameworks? Is it just going to make things up? Are we writing HTML? Is that part of the implementation? What do we mean when we say web app? I'm writing first pass back. Only 3 clarification markers because the current description is too broad. Well, at least we got that much. Inventing product cleanly without. All right. All right. Let's go back and look at the specify, plan, and tasks. So here we are. We just sent it with the Constitution. And now the specify, we just said web app. I want a web app. What does that mean? Go for it. All right, let's see if it's pulling some good stuff out here. Whoa. All right, hold on. Where did I leave off? Prompt file is just the agent selector. No, where did I go? All right, here we go. And then what did we say? We just said web application feature. That's what. Wait. Analyzing your answers. I didn't send anything. Artifacts. Draft spec. Specs. Let's see, what do we got? Specs. Here, spec. Oh yeah, we got some specs. Look at us go. But I'm not done reading this, so. Artifacts. So we got a spec. We got some requirements. We got 001 web app feature. We got a spec for that. We got a checklist for some requirements. The draft is structurally complete. It is not ready for plan yet because 3 scope critical clarifications remain. Question 1, primary outcome. Functional requirement. System must support a complete workflow, needs clarification. The primary user outcome is not specified. Submitting a request, managing records, completing a transaction, or another goal. All right. Cool. What is the main thing the user is trying to accomplish with this feature? Just wants to read some things. No, I didn't wait. Did it just run along? Where are all these questions now? Once you update your answers. Reply in this format. Oh, okay. Q1, Q2, Q3, B. Oh, okay. All right. So Q1. What is that? Q1. All right. Call space. Submit a request or application. Nope. Manage records or items. Nope. Complete a transaction booking. No. Custom. All right. See the format. Custom. You know, what was it? Custom dash. Custom space dash. Get product documentation. All right. And then comma. Q2. Let's see. Question 2. Access model. Must indicate that available to visitors, authenticated users, authentication authorization. They don't want to say it. So Q2A. Q2A, right? Q3, it's just documentation site. So public access for discovery and completion. Well, we're going to go anonymous, right? That's fine. Q3, system must present feature in a language and workflow steps needed clarification. We need to know who is the primary audience for this feature. I mean, end customers or consumers, internal staff, business partners or vendors. I'm gonna say the customers. The customer's always right. All right, what else we got? Q4, 3. Q3. Nope, Q4. That's it? I hope it asks me some more questions, to be honest with you. We'll see how it goes. I need to continue. Yeah, please do, because they included. Oh, did I not? Oh, me? I didn't answer Q4? Bummer. Q4 was A. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, sorry. That's right, I did include it. An extraneous? Erroneous? I mean, there's value here somewhere, I feel. I'm gonna find it. Just look for it, though. Man, it is crushing. Close to 300 lines. Added 84. Net 3. Needs clarification. Final pass. Whew. It is, well, let's see, 30. All right, still reserve 30, so 20% in. Okay. All right, well, let's see. We're not even, like, I don't even know. Got the missing decisions. The features, public, customer-facing product documentation experience. I'm writing the spec around the documentation discovery and access now. Then I'll rerun the checks and clear your remaining readiness blockers. Gotten the current draft loaded. I'm replacing generic flow language with concrete public documentation experience. Okay. Then I'll mark the checklist fully passed and confirm readiness for planning. The clarified scope is applied. I'm doing a final validation pass now to confirm there are no remaining clarification markers. I'm going to check this for planning ready. All right, no more. Validation pass, but I found one formatting defect in the constitution alignment. Cool. I'm cleaning that up so it's internally consistent. Okay, so it was running through the specify phase, bumped into something in the constitution, and corrected it. Huh. I think that's good. Like, nudged it. Should go this way? Based on the constitution? Cool. Final edits applied. Created a branch. Alright. Man. 31 files, 4,088 insertions. I'll leave that alone. Don't touch it. It's supposed to do it itself, so. Alright. Come back here. Alright, let's bring this window down. Alright, let's close this. Oops, this. Alright, let's just read through this one more time. Final edits applied. Here's the branch. So it created a branch. Get branch here. Specification completed and updated with clarification. Spec web feature spec. Spec and requirements. What's changed? Public customer facing product documentation experience. Cool. Replace needs clarification with markers. Needs clarification markers. Rewrote user stories, requirements, edge cases, entities, and success criteria around documentation, discover, rating, navigating, and return visits. I mean, a lot of broad, sweeping assumptions in there, but maybe that's okay, right? Like a lot of specs are boilerplate anyway. Well, it's user experience. It's going to be common, reasonable. Hey, it's a web app. They need to log in, look around, find stuff. Maybe there's search, maybe there's not. All right, readiness. Ready for a spec kit plan. Since there is no specify extension YAML, there are no after specify hooks to run. Okay, specify hooks to run. That's interesting. Maybe you would update documents. There's probably a whole bunch of things in the lifecycle you'd want to keep track of. let's see what we got. So here's the Constitution. Let's just keep it all. So then, all right, we'll get out of the dot specify one here. Let's look at the spec. User stories. All right, we can't look at the. Mandatory. Important. User stories should be prioritized as user journeys ordered by importance. Each user story journey must be independently testable, meaning if you implement just one of them. All right. P1, 2, 3, etc. User story 1. Find the right documentation. Priority 1. All right. As a customer, I can find and open product documentation that answers my question so I can understand how to use the product without contacting support. Why is this a priority? Feature only provides value if the customer can locate relevant content. All right, so it's like, there you go. That's a problem we're trying to solve. Can be fully tested by opening the documentation experience, searching and browsing for a known topic. Maybe it could be just as simple as a tree control. Who knows? Customer opens the documentation feature. When? All right, we can switch to preview mode because I don't see any other inline comments. Scan for comments. No more comments. All right, let's just read. Full screen. Feature. Product documentation experience. User scenario. Testing. Mandatory. Oh, man. There we go. All right. Get rid of that for now. All right, I already read that. Oh, yeah, here's the P1, P2. What documentation? Find the right documentation. Need to find documentation. Is it independently testable? Yeah, I guess. If known priori. Understand what documentation is available. How it's organized. Okay. Cool. Return to useful documentation later. As a customer, revisit. Okay. Requirements mandatory. Must write a clear entry point for the feature within the web application. Must. The function requirement. Oh man, I keep doing it. Must present clear feedback. Must preserve stable access. Must. All right, so got our constitution. Just out of the box. One to web app. Boom. It asks for some clarification. We said, yep, we would like to product documentation. And this is where it is. Oh, so success criteria. This is cool. Do they maybe this is inside the sorry, what I'm thinking in my head, I should probably say it out loud because we are streaming. The functional requirements, and then we see this success criteria. Where are these defined in Spec Kit? And I think because it seems like there's first class citizens, are there actually of a known type? So in the details of, what did we just do? We just did a feature. Right, constitution specify. We did the specify, create the spec. These are all community extensions. There was the Spec Kit doc site. Not the GitHub. There's a Microsoft one. Diving into Spec Kit. It's a blog. Docs. Read the docs, docfx. Not actually. Yeah, well. We don't have spec, maybe we can. Docs? I just want the docs. Alright, that's fine. Let's go to what is. We did this, we did this. There's the upgrade guide, enterprise air gapped. Pretty important. You need it. Comprehensive guide. I'm looking for the docs. Docs. No. This is what we were watching, or watching. This is what we were reading. Why SDD matters now. Spec-driven development. Specs, system plan, and then plan. Yeah, we didn't do the plan yet. We didn't do research. We didn't do data model. We didn't do any contracts. Quick start. We didn't do any tasks. No. Oh, because that's what it says. 5 minutes. Okay. Fair enough. Spec. Requirements. Generate implementation plan. 5 minutes. But they actually, I'll specify real-time chat. See, you could have started that. Maybe the second iteration. Maybe the part 3 of this will be, have a rough idea of what we want to do. Like landing page. Maybe landing page is pretty good. We get some best practice. Maybe do some deep research on what a landing page should be, and then mock it up. Because you have a constitution for a landing page, and then you bake in some best practices. Template and implementation gates. I mean, I'd really like to see where. Let's go back to the code for a second. Some success criteria. This is actually in all the GitHub skills, prompts, agents. Was it feature? That's what we just did, right? Analyze, specify. Right now, just what was it? This is SC underscore. Technical plan label hands off. Well, maybe we're hitting a prompt then. Specify prompt. Spec Kit, specify. It's just a pointer. Spec Kit, specify. You must consider input. We had no input. Well, here we go. Is it okay? So that's where it injects the hooks. Okay, cool. Optional hook, outline, user type, specify, triggers is for the branch, right? Analyze the feature. 2 4 words. Action now. Cool. Preserve technical terms, etc. Okay. Create the feature branch by running a script with a short name and JSON. Oh, we have a feature. Well, where's our feature? I'm assuming it's a feature branch script. All right. Set up plan. Here's your contents. All right. That's how it wires together. Scripts bash create new feature. Create new feature. Create new feature. There you go. So tool calling in the chain, create new feature. All right, here's the script. False. I think we just called it with true. Oh man, where was I? No, all right, I'm in a preview, that's fine. Okay, here are scripts. Create new feature, arguments, JSON. Short name, user, create new, yeah, short name. That's a weird case. Oh, PowerShell. Alright, so it is passed in. So timestamp short name, user auth, add user authentication. So short name, do. And so this is just some arg checks. Okay. What does it actually do? Anything? Oh, all right. So okay. So it just interrogates a directory for specter star match sequence prefix. So keep timestamp. I mean, I get it. It's a workflow. I don't know. It's a little foreign to me. But that's fine. I think it works. Yeah, I guess it's agentic. This is what you do as a developer. What am I working on? What's the number? What's the convention? Okay. Yeah, all right. So here's get the highest from spec, get the highest from branches. Any other existing? Check existing branches. Yeah, that when we saw it had no other branches in there. That was interesting. Man, it just seems inefficient for some reason. But well, at least it's in a script though, so right, it's not like we're asking or listing a set of directories. So okay, some script, and we weren't even, what do we call this with? Create new feature, script arg, timestamp, short name, add user authentication, create new feature, bash. If timestamp, add timestamp bash. If time, okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, also digging into that. Two modes, I guess. It could do a timestamp feature. Did I say that right? Spec, specify. Yep. Okay. Or yeah, it could do a timestamp spec. Right. I'm assuming we did not do it, so it's in a sequential spec. Yeah, well, if we go top bottom, this is what we called it. We called it with the parameters we saw. Get the params out of the args. Okay. Just, all right, and it's just a function. All right, so we're just in bash, creating some new. Yep, just checking get. All right, fine. We set some. All right, has get true. Probably. All right, we're looking at specs. Get the branch name is another function. Weird that we just have this in here. I'm gonna hop in there. I guess it doesn't matter flavor. Taste, right? Short name. Already have it. Clean. I'm assuming that's defined up above. Cool. Warn if number, timestamp are both specified. Cool, you got a little conflict on the way that you want your little conventions there. Yep. Yeah, branch number or the timestamp. GitHub enforces 244 byte limit on branch names. Huh. Who knew? GitHub does. Does Git though? Alright. How long is 244 bytes? Pretty wide. Yeah, alright. If not, what do you truncate it? Alright, clean it up. Okay, you got Git, do the thing. Oh, it already exists. It doesn't. All right, fine. All right. Now then you actually have to have JQ. I think that was in the prerequisites. I'm not gonna lie. They had said that was probably gonna be there. Or it was something else I was reading, but it's all right. All that is just to clean up that. That's fine. Like reasonable conventions. I'm okay with that. Do not. And now we're back to the specify agent. And this is what had happened, right? Policy description, do the things. So then this is sort of the execution flow, right? So, all right, here's our agent. It's going to do this thing, go out, get the identifier for the specification or for the feature that we're trying to implement. Cool, we already went through the little discussion. We have requirements, assuming we're in the middle of building it, right? Yeah. Limit max needs clear. Really? Man. Limit is 3. Oh, man. I would have put that much higher. I would have put that much higher. Oh boy, where am I now? Close this. Close all on that one. For unclear aspects, make informed guesses based on context and industry standards. And this is why you got to read these things. Only marks needs clarification specific if the choice significantly adds feature scope or user experience. Well, I mean, so if we go back to the little example we went through, we just said, Constitution out of the box, boom, air quote, default Constitution from GPT 5.4. Then the next one was, hey, specify, just nothing, just specify blank. And then it was like, hey, what do you want to do? Web app. Okay, that's unclear. But this is the limit. I would change this right out the gate. Until, I mean, I would say no max, or yeah, I don't, I would literally say like no max, or you know what, go back to the Constitution and try to figure something else out because you really don't know what you're doing yet. And I don't think we saw that here. We saw the behavior, right? Let's go back in our chat here. I don't know how far we can go back. Okay, so we went all the way back to the Constitution, and then we got to look through where we said specify, right? And then it was like, well, what? Because we just passed it, specify, boom, blank, nothing. Web application, and then we'll see this here. We'll see this kind of play out in our chat to the right. Let's see what it did. Let's see, considering we want to see this playing execution. Discuss that further. I have just enough input to the feature. Let's move forward carefully. Where was that interaction that we had? All right. Oh, so it already created the artifacts. Wait, where? Okay, so here. All right, hold on. Okay, so it drafted the spec. Okay, so all right, we didn't even get into this yet, but it said, hey, we said, all right, nothing. What feature should I specify? Provide concise description, end user need and scope. Web application, super generic. I get it. I have just enough. So it took that short name, what have you. Yep. we saw this. We were just walking through that script. Because we didn't specify anything, the reasonable default was just going to do the integer-based feature numbers instead of a date, but it looks like a feature date is also an option. Then, so that just created the shell of what have you. And then it was running through the rest of this, right? And we saw that here, right? Here, call this, create the branch. So concise short name, we're watching it. This is where it came from. Important, do not pass number to the script. Oh, okay. But you could to the script. Okay, well, whatever, we'll move on. All right, load the spec template, and that's what it did. Okay, cool. Man, I'm hung up on this 3. Search for needs clarification. Finalize the plan. Wrote it out. Functional requirement. Question 1. And it only had 3. Yeah. All right, and then it did 1, 2, 3. Jeepers creepers. I think you need much more than 3. That's the whole point. I mean, do you? Hey, Mullen builds. All right, I'm just looking at the chat over there. How's it going? I don't know if you're on anymore. Yeah, sorry, I'm hung up on this. I think this was. All right, I'm gonna move past it. I think it needs to be much deeper than just 3 questions. What's going on? Specs. Generate functional requirements for each requirement. Must be. Back to the preview. And I gotta change my muscle memory. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Fill user scenarios. If no clear user flow, error. Cannot determine scenarios. Generate functional requirements for each. Success criteria. So this is all in the specify agent here. So I think a good place to tune, use it as a framework, use some of the scaffolding, but definitely read what you're going to get into. Yeah, because if you started to get into a system that was reasonably complex, or you need to, like that three limit would definitely throw you off. It's a good start, and maybe that's the whole point, to iterate, right? So and then it just like leaves a lot of room for. We saw it earlier, like best practices. Well, what's best practice? You might be really constrained by the things that you can do either in your project or in your organization. And so your best practice may vary. I'm assuming, or I'm hoping, that the Constitution would help in that. And we did see that it referenced it in one of the chat dialogues that came through. It did check the Constitution, and it changed some of the work that it was doing based on that. Where are we now? Spec templates. All right, this is what we ran through. Quality validation after writing initial spec. Quality checklist for our, what was our feature? Or our spec. The web app feature. So generic. That should fire off some. So this is just more instructions. Oh, all right. Yeah, this is where it got the template for the questions. Items fail. Needs execution. Needs clarification. Markers remain. Extracting needs clarification. We saw that in action. ABC. Custom. Yeah, I think the models are smart enough so we could really get this tuned up a bit more. Table formatting, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, this is just sometimes LLMs don't have a good time with tables. Number of requests sequentially. Q123, max 3 again. Sorry, I'm hung up. How are you gonna stop at 3? Whatever happened to 5 Ys? You just 5. 5 would have been better. I would have been alright with 5. Like 5 Ys. Ask why 5 times, not 3. 5. All right, check for hooks. Didn't have any. There you go. Guide. The script creates checks. Focus on what users need and why. Avoid how to implement. All right, that's fine. Written for business stakeholders, not developers. Touche. Touche. Mandatory section is optional for AI generation. Make informed guesses. Use context engine. Yeah, these are interesting things. Make informed document assumptions. All right, cool. How did I land on this again? I'm in the same template. I'm at the bottom of it. It says it again. How many times did it say maximum 3? All right. All right. Well, a couple times. One in bold, one in regular. Prioritize clarification. Think like a tester. A good example. Okay. All right. Am I over it yet? I don't know. I don't know if I'm over it yet. Oh, we looked at this a second ago. All right. Let's got this down. Move this over here. Gotta find the right documentation. I mean, it did a good job considering it was super vague and we just answered a couple questions, so that's cool. Understand what documentation is available, return useful documentation later. Okay, edge cases, requirements, mandatory. Clear entry point, search, browse, or otherwise navigate. Present documentation content, helps customer understand product. It doesn't say what products or whatever, but that's fine. Publicly accessible without, did it again, here we go. I gotta stop reading and clicking. Documentation, topic, success criteria, mandatory. Yeah. SC1, at least 90% of the representative customers can find documentation. I mean, we didn't even talk about, non-functionals, or maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. All right, let's move on, shall we? What is next? Where's our terminal? New terminal? Where's the terminal? View terminal? Where am I? I'm in here. Let's see what it says next. Ready for spec kit plan. All right, this needs a little drum roll. Same context? Anybody? Anybody in chat? Same context or not? All right, I'm gone. Same. We're gonna bloat this thing. We got context left. 50 and 30% is. What are we doing? What are we doing? Plan. Yeah, let's plan. Well, let's see what it's gonna do. Let's guess. Let's guess what it's gonna do. It's gonna look over here. Gonna look at a little plan agent. Oh, no extensions, pre-hook. Okay, so we're starting to get a feel for how it's behaving. I do a little hook thing. I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go look at my prompts. My prompt actually just points to the agents. Okay, cool. Go look at my little agent thing. It read the Constitution. That's good. Constitution is the broad thing. I feel like I want to put tech in the Constitution, but it says no. I think you want to put some of the fundamentals in an abstract sense. So maybe that's architecture style. It might change depending on the use case, right? I think you might get away with a broader constitution where you'd have you could have constitutions that are only applied in particular areas. I don't know if that's the right way to go about it, but we'll see. Explore, explore, explore. All right, let's view this quick. All right, it's going to go through here. Oh, I just let it play softly in the background. So we just ran this, and here is the plan. Pre-execution hooks, we saw that go through. Outline. Set up the plan with the parameters. So it's like, hey, call the script, go do the things, check the constitution. Cool. Implementation plan, template. We have template. Prompt. Prompt goes to implement. We just ran plan, right? Yeah, plan to media. I don't know what that means. Oh. Oh, they just throw that fix in there? Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking at the cherry picking of items of what you would put in there, what you wouldn't. And then here we go. Plan. So the stack choice is ours. All right, hold on. I gotta get in there. All right, and it's gonna do the thing. It's some hook, phase 0, outline and research, design and contracts. All right, so it's gonna do some research. Has a dependency on the research. So let's go back to. It's taking a bit of time, but I guess it takes a little bit to learn stuff. Keep an eye on time. Oh, it's 6:30, 6:24. Here, let's get through this. Research. Oh, so it did a research pass. Spec Kit, start upload. Created plan. Yep. All right, nothing to block. Repo memory. No code. No constrained stack. Finished. Research data model. Data model is interesting. UI contract. Quick start. Plan. Full planning packets. Research. Plan. Okay, did some work. Phase 01 written. Planning. Oh, when does the research? I gotta look at this now. So, plan. All right, let's just keep everything for now. All right, we're in a branch. Here we are. We're gonna web app feature. Someone's filled in my spec plan command. Just gonna pick that for us? Oh, wow. Wow. Look at that. Huh. but I think that's part of it, right? Right, plan, not specify plan template. Okay. All right, let's close all this. So here's what it came up. Here's the plan that it came up with, and I think we can refine the plan. So that would be fine. I mean, because I'm deep on the technical details or the constraints. So language, TypeScript, Node 22, that's fine. So Astra MDX, page find, retest, markdown, MDX, files and repo. Okay. Yeah, like where do you, this is where the hooks have to come in, or something to that effect. Pass select structure, concrete pass under front end. Yeah, where do you make decisions like mono repo, or maybe it's a little different with brownfield. We're just trying to go greenfield here. Yeah, and then just some random data model. Sorry. Data model product documentation. I mean, it made up some good, reasonable assumptions. I would love more interaction with. I want more discussion, at least in the specification piece, right? But maybe that's part of it, right? Let's just see. I'm gonna see. That was the output. And maybe that's a specify thing. I know there was some other commands. All right, let's just hide this for a second. It's not here now because it would be here. Right, that's the CLI. What we're really after is this specific. Yo, don't go anywhere. GitHub. Agents and prompts. Was it in refine? Because what did we just run? We just ran plan. Where is the clarify? Let's run the clarify. Yeah, like spec kit. And maybe this is the intended. Maybe this is the intended approach. Like we need to clarify. I'm assuming I would like to. All right, yeah, we're active because of branch, right? And I've confirmed the current path. I'm scanning. Okay. Is there a discuss? clarification taxonomy. So there's a taxonomy for clarify. Constitution enforcement. All right. Well, with all of this kind of hands-on stuff, let's see if we have a different perspective now. Like spec-driven, specify, user prompted complete structure, you know, branch, template, we saw that. You know, we saw that. This technical converts into technical architecture. Where in the plan does it get the technical architecture from? Yeah, before plan. Optional hook, mandatory hook. Set up plan. Spec. Build technical context. Generate resolve. So I'm gonna probably wrap here in a little bit, but what I'd be interested in is if you had some specific patterns that you wanted to include or to be first-class citizens. I'm assuming that's in the Constitution, but I thought the Constitution was supposed to be generic and not technical, so abstract. And what is a good way to, I think, pick the technology stack? And maybe that's in memory, maybe that's the initial setup. So it might actually make more sense to don't start with Spec Kit. Start with a reasonable prototype about the technology stack that you want, and then back into Spec Kit brownfield. I think that's my hot take, right? So, and maybe I'm missing something, but I think if you had a reasonable, so say you were doing a Svelte app or a React app or a Next.js, and it's a front end, and you have some back ends, and you know, you already have an integration tier, and you have Swagger, and you have some things that you need to integrate with. You already have an IDP, you have authentication, authorization. Maybe you don't need to fill those in afterwards, but you know of them, and you put that in the Constitution. So if you took like an out-of-the-box create React app or create Svelte app or whatever, when you create just the baseline app, I think it would make more sense to do that instead of trying to have specify or spec it, just guess. I don't think, or at least currently in this plan, you know, maybe it's the implementation, but once we ran through it, we got the plan, and here's the plan. So, and then when I ran refine the plan, still didn't run so good. Implementation, product, and then technical context. Like, where did you get this? All right, extract unknowns. Needs clarification. Plan, workflow. So, yeah, there we go. That's it. Technical context, concrete, or. Yeah, I think that has to go back to the Constitution. All right, technical context from plan. Yeah, template, checklist, clear action item, check. That's like, we hadn't even gotten there. Technical context, that's the part that kind of threw me for a loop. So what I think, or my takeaways are, I kind of see the pattern. I agree with it. I think it's a little verbose, but that's okay. I mean, when you're doing specs, it is verbose. But I'm trying to figure out where, you know, you can cover all the bases that you need. So yeah, the broader architecture, it might have an interesting effect. I think having the broader architecture in the Constitution probably is hands down the thing to do. I think that's my takeaway. Yeah, maybe that'll be something. Okay, because I have an existing kind of architecture around something that I'm working on at work, and that I'm going to do tomorrow. So maybe I'll try that. I'll try to derive the spec from that, and then the tech stack will be set, and it's already kind of a choice. But I don't want to miss the spirit of Spec Kit, right? If that's not the case. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for learning in public. We didn't write any code. We wrote some specs. Specs are the new code, I guess. Yeah, let's see. We started. Well, this is empty when we started. So we have a spec. A lot of checklists and contracts and documentation routes, gets, and oh, all right. I didn't even look at these. You know, a little data model. Plan. Here's the plan. Target platform. CDN. Doc landing page. 1.5 seconds. Performance goals. Just bundling in NFRs in the plan. Gate must phase 0. Recheck after design. All right. All right, maybe I'll go watch some other videos where they're showing the magic of Spec Kit. Yeah, and there are other spec-driven development things out there. I might take a look at those too, but I want to focus on at least get my head wrapped around this. And this is actually what we've learned in practice before spec-driven development was a thing. You know, just going through a development loop. This particular one was a kind of orchestrated fast API RESTful endpoint. I was doing some data engineering-esque work, like moving data around. And that, yeah, the work breakdown. And the better you have it specified, the better off you will be to not lose context. And I really do like, I mean, I'm still hopeful, but I do like the concept of the branch and you know, the specs on a per basis. And we haven't even broke it down to the broader tasks, etc. So that'll be part of the next step. So, but I really think I need a better use case or to be more constrained. All right, well, that's a wrap. As the name of the channel implies, a good person is always learning. You know, thanks for the people that are watching us. If you're watching this, you're someone who probably wants to talk shop or knows a little bit about tech. So hey, appreciate it. I'm gonna try to stay focused and being consistent with this, and yeah, learn in public, like it says. All right, I'm out. Take care.